going on, YouTube world and YouTube tribe? Welcome back to LilBigMan Game. You see the belt? You know what time it is. You knew I had to come at you with the reviews, right? Some more reviews. I know I've been dropping a whole bunch of reviews lately, but I got two more for you. I got Smackdown, which we're about to do in a minute, and Shang-Chi. I was about to say Shang. My friend been calling this Shang-Chi. But belt means this is Smackdown, right? You see the title, you see everything. Let's get straight into it without further ado. Oddly, now, as the last couple of weeks, we've been getting like a promo to start the show. We go straight into a match. Or so you thought. So, the first match is the Usos versus the Street Profits, right? Kicking off from where we left off last week, the Street Profits interfered with them beating up Finn Balor. So, the first match is the Street Profits versus the Usos. But the Usos come out and then they cut the promo. So it's technically like a match promo. They cut a promo before the match started, before they came out. So the Usos, they talk about the Street Profits, how they got involved last week, and that about the why. Why did they get involved last week? And they said it was because they want to make a name for themselves. They want to prove themselves, or such and such, and that they are the ones to do it against. They calling themselves. It is either the Usos, the Bloodlines. Now they calling themselves the ones. They sticking up their hand for the ones. So, with that being said, the Street Profits come out, right? So they talk about we got embarrassed in front of the so-called tribal chief. We got embarrassed, and they were like, yeah, what you doing out in the ring without your permission slips? Without the say so, the tribal chief, even though it technically was the say so, like he really did he was watching back. They cut to different parts of him, different times. Him watching the match, so he's actually he approved of it. They just make fun of him, obviously. Yeah, and then they go on to say that they said the Usos was right about one thing. You are the ones. You are the ones that's gonna get your ASS beat. And so then we get on to the match. I was looking at my notes trying to see was there anything else they were saying, but then I actually just get on straight to the match. So yeah, the match was good. They like I said, Montez Ford doing his thing, but it suffers from the fact that this match didn't have like a conclusive ending. Instead of one of them getting beat to 1, 2, 3 or submission or whatever, we got a DQ because I think it was Jay Uso started was beating on either Dawkins or Montez. I couldn't remember. No, it was Dawkins. They was beating up on Jay started beating up on Dawkins. And he was not the legal man, and since the referee couldn't get control of the match because Jay wouldn't listen, he called for the DQ, giving the Street Profits the win. But the beatdown continued until Montez Ford got involved, and they successfully put down the Usos for now, and walked up the ramp victorious, so they DQ win. We would then get joined by the man herself. The man, Becky Lynch. It was for a promo. This was a promo from Becky Lynch, and she basically comes out and talk about what happened last week. How first of all she said she came out and didn't get no "you deserve it" chance, but then the crowd here gave it to her, so she was like, yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. She said, I should have been here last week, because she got the you deserve a chance here. But yeah, she goes on to talk about how she was interrupted by practically the entire locker room, which I guess was a jab, because she called she technically called. I was about to say Melina because I just watched Melina's debut on Impact. She was calling Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Carmella, and Zelina. She said practically the entire women's division, and that I'm pretty sure that's not the entire women's division. Yeah, so she basically was talking about how she, before she was interrupted, she was about to get to Bianca Belair and the controversy surrounding her becoming SmackDown Women's Champion, and she basically started talking about how Bianca was crying about how she beat her too fast, and she said she's been preparing, this whole time to get back what was hers, because last time she was champion, she was Raw Women's Champion, and she was saying how she was talking again about how she had to give it up without properly losing it, and she wanted what was hers and was back on top as champion. So she was saying that's not her fault that that Bianca wasn't ready, and that all it took was a flick of her fist and what they call the manhandle slam to beat Bianca, and she's telling Bianca she don't get to cry about that she got beat too fast. I want to take this time to address that, because it did its job. It got me to respond to it. It provoked a response to it, because I felt like the promo in itself up until this point by Becky Lynch was a jab to us, to the critics, to the fans who criticized the booking of her beating Bianca the way she did, because everything she mentioned. I might not have said everything she said, but basically what she said in the promo about what happened at SummerSlam was a jab to us, because everything she said that Bianca was complaining about, Bianca never said anything. She might have said something about, she did say something about like she's not going to let her winning the title and her beating her in 26 seconds erase everything she did, but she never complained about it. The complaint that she supposedly said Bianca did was actually from the critics and your wrestle talks, your wrestling news, any type of people like me who do reviews, and you fans, they was the ones complaining about that book, and rightfully so. Bianca, after all the build up before she won the title, before WrestleMania, all that build up and stuff you put into her, then she win the title, everything that you build into her afterwards, including the awards and everything, that shows, all that backing, all that hard work shows that you at least expect her not to lose in 26 seconds. I honestly doubt that she did. That wasn't even the actual finish for. I believe the finish for SummerSlam was supposed to be her losing the title to Sasha Banks, but it wasn't supposed to be in 26 seconds. I don't think that was something they came up with, because the rumors has it that Becky was always supposed to make her return at SummerSlam, but she wasn't supposed to. It was last minute decision for her to get the opportunity to face her for the belt. That was a last minute decision. So I felt like if WWE was trying to say something to us, it was the fact that you are wrong. You're definitely wrong, because everything you put into Bianca, she doesn't deserve to be beaten in 26 seconds. That match should have went for at least 20 to 30 minutes. Should have. It really should have. Because it provokes, when you do something like that, that provokes my irritation with Kofi Kingston, how he was beaten in 5 seconds by Brock Lesnar, and how you treat champions that you're not fully behind. Bianca should have never been squashed like that. If you wanted her to lose, fine. I'm all with her losing the belt, but don't make her lose in 26 seconds. But I digress. I was starting to ramble. But yeah, I just wanted to say that we rightfully so had a legit reason to be angry because that was totally disrespectful. In my mind, that's disrespectful to Bianca to beat after everything you put into her to have her beat in 26 seconds. Like I found that disrespectful to Kofi Kingston after everything you put into Kofi Kingston. Even though his opportunity came at the hands of Mustafa Ali getting injured, still you put a lot of the story and time into him and building him up as to being champion. When you take the championship, when you become champion, you're supposed to be elevated to where you're not beating, you're not jobbing. Because that's what jobbing is. Jobbing is losing to somebody in 26 seconds, losing to somebody in 5 seconds. A champion, especially a world champion, is not supposed to be losing that quickly. But back to the story at hand. Bianca comes out basically doing what I just rambled on about. Basically telling Becky that she was never complaining. That's her truth. She stood in the fact that she was embarrassed. She's not gonna lie and say that she wasn't embarrassed. She was embarrassed that she got beat in 26 seconds, and it still hurts that she got beat in 26 seconds. But she stands in that truth in that moment, and then she said she replayed that moment in her head multiple times to the point where she tells her that, okay, I came out here to challenge you last week. And you said no, so I re-earned my opportunity. So like Roman Reigns is doing tonight with Finn Balor, how about you do the same and defend your title against me right here tonight, since I earned the opportunity to be your number one contender. So as we thought she was gonna do, she basically said, Becky says no. And she said, no, not tonight. She don't give a damn what Roman Reigns is doing. She don't give a damn about Roman Reigns or what he does. She said, when she's ready, that's when will defend the title. So Becky Lynch said no and walk away, and that will not be the end of it. So then we get to the second match, which is Rick Boogs versus Dolph Ziggler. Now, I want to digress because I didn't write it down, but I remembered. I had to see it. I remembered that there was a backstage segment with Toni Storm, of all people, finally, after her debut, after that build up for her debut, and then she have that debut match, and then disappeared out of nowhere. Okay, she finally makes another appearance on TV. This time, but though she was backstage awkwardly looking at a table with nothing on it. And for Dolph Ziggler to basically come up and try to shoot his shot at Toni Storm, and you could come out. He said I could have Robert hang back. You could come out to the ringside. You want to accompany me to the ringside. Cheer me on from the ringside. Blah blah blah. And she was like, you know what? I would love to, and I respect you, but I'm actually rooting for Rick Boogs. And Dolph Ziggler, he took it back a little bit. He was like, "Yeah, we all rooting for Rick Boogs. He's like that good guy, feel good guy story. But hey, I see you're wrong, right?" And she was like, "Yeah, like, dude, I'm rooting for your opponent, and you acting like I didn't just say that." But we get to the match at hand. It's 1-on-1 with Rick Boogs versus Dolph Ziggler. Though I find it kind of weird that Rick Boogs is playing Shinsuke Nakamura out to the ring, but it's actually his match. I feel like I'm starting to see a pattern where they're going with this, and Shinsuke Nakamura, since capturing the title and having a couple of matches, he's starting to become backseat to Rick Boogs. Now, I'm about to say they try to get Rick Boogs established as a wrestler, but they still can have Shinsuke wrestle or defend the title. But like I said, that aside, the match was also kind of lackluster because it was only a 2-minute match, and Rick Boogs did his thing and got the win. Okay, moving on. Okay, this is the continuation of the Becky Lynch promo. Backstage, Becky Lynch is basically walking with her title, and she is interrupted in her stride by Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville. And they basically tell her that remind her that Bianca is the number one contender, and she earned the right to challenge you for that title. So And she was like, yeah, and she said, when I'm good and ready, I would defend the title against Bianca Belair, but no sooner, no less, not until she says it's all a go. So they basically tell her, okay, Alan said you're right, that the title, you won't be defending your title tonight against Bianca Belair. And, Becky's like, okay, yeah, see, thinking Adam Pearce is understanding her. He said, then he continues, you will be defending that title against Bianca Belair at Extreme Rules. And that next week will be the contract signing for that. Sonya Deville, it says, just to make sure everybody's clear, next week they will be having a contract signing for that match at Extreme Rules. And Becky, like she wanted to say something, like she wanted to, really get something off her chest, she goes and just walks away. Angry that angry that they basically forcing her to, I guess, because they've taken the opportunity from her to call her shot. She can't, basically decide when she wants to. She basically just doing it on her own. So the next match, they just taking the decision into their hands. So the next match is Cesaro versus Seth Rollins, a renewal rivalry from WrestleMania in the past. They try to, for some reason they said WrestleMania and not the fact that they continued to fight after WrestleMania and Seth Rollins won that final one. But yeah, this match was Cesaro versus Seth Rollins, which was a good match. It was a good match. I was digging it. I was digging the fact that Seth Rollins. So we got to see what Seth Rollins meant that he had to be more like Edge. He used the execution, the educator, both of Edge's moves during the match. He did had a backstage promo where he was alluded to that again. But yeah, during the match he would do his moves. Then at moments he would do like I said, the educator and the execution. So it's like did he study Edge's film to actually really be like Edge light? But the match was good up until the finish. So I'm like, once again we got a DQ finish. Okay. At one point Seth Rollins had got knocked out to the ring. And Cesaro, I think this was like the second time he did it. He was like, all right, whatever. He was going to do that flying shoulder / European uppercut to Seth Rollins again. But this time when he went to do it the second time, Seth Rollins will pick up a chair and hit Cesaro really as he was coming towards him, causing for the DQ. So Seth Rollins, in the attempt to taunt Edge, we see that this was all employed to get the taunt Edge. He will take the first chair, the chair that he initially used to hit Cesaro with. He will stomp the leg part, that little bottom leg part like Edge's been doing, and he will use it to put Cesaro in the crippler. I want to say the crippler crossface. The crossface. How Ed's been putting people in the crossface with the bar in the mouth. And he did that to Cesaro, and then that wasn't enough. He had to do the stomp, but then that still wasn't enough. So he went outside, grabbed 2 chairs, and was setting Cesaro up for the concerto. And as he was getting ready to hit Cesaro with the concerto, he kept screaming, "Where you at, Edge? Where you at, huh?" And then he was telling the referees to shut up. And kept saying, "Where you at?" And so with Edge, being a no-show for that particular moments, he get ready to hit Cesaro with the concerto until Edge's music hits, and Edge comes down the ring with his own chair and chases off Seth Rollins, saving Cesaro, and basically attending to him as Seth Rollins was making his way to the crowd. In a backstage segment, Edge basically said that he was going to finish this once and for all because he wanted to move on from Seth Rollins to. He thought Seth Rollins' loss would make him move on, and so he could move on. But obviously, Seth Rollins not moving on. Obviously, this is going to get worse. So he basically said he's going to finish it next week at Madison Square Garden. He challenged Seth Rollins to a 1-on-1 match, which would later get made. Then we get to the Kevin Owens, another promo, which is Kevin Owens, the Kevin Owens show promo. And Kevin Owens would bring out, I guess they're calling him, he's not no longer Baron Corbin, he's Happy Corbin. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about him being called Happy Corbin. But yeah, he brings out Happy Corbin. They have, they had this little conversation about him. I think like Corbin tried to basically put it on Kevin Owens, how he got back his fortunes and his life, and he was like, "Don't put that all on me." And he tells Kevin that he got his own guest, which turns to be Logan Paul. At least the one bright side I would say about this is that Logan Paul is actually used as a heel here. Whereas for some reason he was treated like a heel, but he was acting face. Now he's used as a heel here. So they properly used him right this time, being heelish and dickish. And I think that after some war words, I was so just like, why is Logan Paul here? They would start pushing each other. Logan and Kevin would start pushing each other, and then that's what caused them to get almost like they was about to square up for a fight. But then as Kevin was getting ready to run towards Logan, Baron Corbin would hit him with the mic and choke slam him, and then they would throw like $100 on him and leave him in the ring. Now it was an okay segment. I'm not gonna say it wasn't, but it was just interesting to see Logan Paul. We would go to the Dom versus Sami Zayn match, 1-on-1 with Rey Mysterio. Kind of like telling telling Dom to go at it alone. It was okay. I just didn't really I didn't really care for it, but I did like the one thing I did like. The reason why I say it was okay is because at one moment like Sammy was out, taking his little breath, and the referee was like in between the row trying to tell him, she was trying to tell him like, get back in the ring, get back in the ring, and Don would do like this awesome flip over her and the top rope on the outside of Sammy, so it was kind of cool. But yeah, Sami Zayn ended up being your winner in that one. The main event, which is Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. And as Finn Balor made his way to the ring, he would get jumped by the Usos, paying off a backstage segment from earlier where Roman said it was something, he was telling them they had to stick to the plan and stick to the script. And we see that plan was to beat up Finn Balor before the match even started. And I think they beat him up too and hit him with the steel steps to make like a target on his ribs. And but he would end up coming back. They had a decent match, very good match, and that would end with Roman Reigns barely targeted his injured ribs. I think he did it like a couple times, but that was it. It was usual. We even got a coup de grace where it looked like Finn might have won the championship, but then and Roman Reigns kick out. He would end up low blowing Finn and then put him in the guillotine for the submission win. Pretty much, yeah, like we thought it was gonna be Roman Reigns winning the match, and then like I said, he got put in the guillotine for the submission win. But the payoff was as Roman Reigns was walking away from the ring, we got the familiar boom boom heartbeat and red lighting to signal that the Demon Finn Balor is coming. And Roman Reigns might not be done with Finn Balor after all. But yeah, that's the show. Overall, I would give this show, I'd give it a 7 big ups just because it was an okay show. I enjoyed I enjoyed most of the promos and some of the matches except for the Dom and the DQ finish, both DQ matches. It was only thing that saved that Seth Rollins DQ match was the fact that it had a good angle to it. But that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then hit that button right there in the upper right corner for all of my reviews. If you really want to support the channel because you enjoyed the video so much, then hit that like button, subscribe button, and hit that notification button so you get notified when I drop videos. And hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content. But stay tuned. I got some Song Chi review coming right at you.